Hello there, wonderful people. This is Jerzy from Digital Pragmatism, and today we're gonna do a first reaction video on this channel. And specifically, I wanted to comment on a video by the Shameless Nerd, how to get rid of your smartphone without missing it. And actually, half of this video is about the Sunbeam F1, which I will probably either fast forward or maybe comment a little bit faster. But for the rest of the video, which is very valuable, where he talks about all the benefits of getting rid of a smartphone in 2025, I will add my perspective as a user of this one, which is a Bigme High Brake Pro. Of course, you know me, you know that I don't use a smartphone since a very, very long time. I have used a Punkt MP02 for probably closer to 3 years, and I have tested various other dump phones and alternative phones, like the light phones, like the Unihertz devices, the small ones, and also the Titan, the big Titan and the smaller Titan. And so I consider myself as cured. I could be using an iPhone, but I don't want to because I don't want to show a bad example to my kids. And recently this phone has really brought a good balance between functions and the possibility to use apps and not being very addictive and luring me into some engineered attention magnets. Let's go. Let's see what the Shameless Nerd has to say.
Today's video is about my experience getting rid of my smartphone in favor of this thing. An honest review of how it's been going and the pros and cons of having done so. If you end up liking this video, please consider dropping a like and
subscribe to my channel also.
Subscribing to the channel. It helps me support doing what I love. In January of this year, I started preparing to get rid of my smartphone. I'm going to start by talking about the actual phone that I got instead, and then I'll kind of backtrack and talk about the preparations and how they've affected the process of having a dumb phone or whatever. But after a couple months of preparation, in the beginning of March, I got this.
I don't know if it's also your experience. It's for sure mine that generally in today's times you need some kind of preparation in order to get rid of your smartphone, and this should basically already determine whether you think it's a good idea or not, because if you need preparation, that means that, hey, things have gotten way too far, don't you think?
The Sunbeam F1 Bluebird, whose name just rolls off the tongue. In this video, I'm going to talk about what it's like to actually navigate the world in 2025 without a smartphone, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the sexy, the fun, the hungry, and hopefully my experience can help you decide whether you want to take the plunge yourself and whether it is worth it for you, how you want to do it, and all of that kind of stuff. So this is a true dumb phone. It calls, it texts, and it has a flashlight. Yeah, so basically it's a true dumb phone because you can configure those Sunbeam devices in different ways, and they have different names, and so the one he's using is a very simplified one that has calls, text, and basically a very simple phone camera and a flashlight. But this phone, the Sunbeam F1 Bluebird, costs $300. So before I get into the pros and cons of this phone and my experience having a dumb phone, why the hell would I pay $300 for a phone that doesn't have cool features? Well, it's like with Punkt MP02, most Polish citizens are saying, well, paying $300 for a phone is stupid. I don't think it's stupid. The Punkt MP02 is a very well designed phone, and it has really the functions it advertises. Basically, it's a phone that calls, texts, and doesn't have a camera, and is able to make a hotspot for your laptop, for example. It's okay to pay $300 for something like that, especially if other types of dumb phone either miss some functionality or have bloatware that you cannot delete from the phone, or maybe they have a camera that you cannot turn off, and basically you cannot give such a dumb phone to a kid. On purpose. Am I dumb? Well, yes, but not because I wanted to buy this phone. I'm dumb for other reasons. First, the justification. First of all, your iPhone costs $1,500, so $300 really isn't as much as it might sound if you really think about it.
Yeah, comparing to the price of an iPhone, surely it's a good deal.
But this phone is $300 because it's not a shit-ass phone from 2005. It's a modern phone made to be as similar to a shit-ass phone from 2005 as possible. But it's made with modern parts, it has modern technology in it, but only in the good ways. You see, the problem with trying to buy a dumb phone is that there are actually very few phones out there made for the purpose of doing a digital detox or whatever you want to call it. Most shithole cheap feature phones are still trying to have a bunch of modern features, and they function as dumb phones just because the features suck so bad that they're effectively non-existent. But the temptation is still there, the capability is still there, the ad seems like enough to make me never get rid of my smartphone if I'm not careful. The reason why the Sunbeam phones are so cool is because they are made for the purpose of a digital detox, and what's cool about them...
I really wouldn't use the term of digital detox. I don't know if I already made a video about that or if it will come in the future, but a digital detox means that you are making a gap in your smartphone use and then you will come back to using a smartphone, and I think it's not something you should consider. Basically, there is lots of evidence right now that it's bad. You know, using a smartphone, it's bad. For adults, it's bad. For kids, it's even worse. So not a digital detox, please.
You can buy a specific phone with as many or as few features as you want, from text and call only, all the way up to everything except apps and internet browser. You can even get one that supports text.
As you can see, there's a lot of different configurations. I think the first maybe 3 or 4 are the best. The rest is really just get an iPhone or get an Android device and then dump it down. It will be basically far better.
Only email. This phone has texting, calling, it supports group texting, it has touchscreen, but also the highest.
I saw it in other dumb phone reviews that people are basically saying that group texting is something very important, and it was cited as a downside of the .mp02, but I don't understand it. Maybe because I live in Poland. If I was living in the States, maybe it would be more obvious for me, but in Poland, group texting is not something really popular. It's not like it's a very big downside that my .mp02 did not have group texting. So
it's rated T9 engine on the market, which was huge for me. It has GPS navigation, which was the main thing above for me over almost everything else. It has a camera that does pictures only, and it has a Wi-Fi hotspot. That way, if I do need to get on the internet, like on the go or whatever, I can just tether my now serviceless iPhone that I now keep turned off in my bag all the time.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit because I'm not really interested in the specifications of the Sunbeam. As I said, I'm not interested in digital detoxing in general. I think it's a lifestyle change that should happen, and you have plenty of information that this lifestyle change should happen for you, for your kids, for your family, etc. Okay, let's go further.
B+, A-. Most of the inconveniences and gripes about using the phone are solely related to being used to having a smartphone, not the Sunbeam Horizon F1 Bluebird, which makes me smile every time I say its goofy-ass name. And that brings me to the other side of this review. What is it like trying to function in the mid-20s without a smartphone, and how can we make that tolerable?
There was a video I have made on my channel where I was also addressing that, and basically the solution is, if you have a very, very simple phone, you will need something else. You will need either a smartphone in your bag, and this is what the shameless nerd is doing, or you will need something else, probably an iPad, especially if you need some banking applications, two-factor authentication, maybe you are investing in Bitcoin and you need your wallet, etc. So this is one of the reasons I have finally settled on this one, on the Bigme Hybrid Pro, because it has two things I need. One thing is NFC, the other thing is I can use my preferred note-taking application. If I didn't had the need really for having my connected notes on me, I could probably use my .mp02 until the end of times, just exchanging it as the screens broke. But no, actually there is real added value that I can have my notes here, And as I said, I am cured. I don't have the urge to go on Instagram, download the application. I don't even have an account on Instagram. I have deleted all my social media accounts, basically. I am cured, and so I can use something that has an e-ink. It's a black and white e-ink device. And that allows me to make simple notes on the go, and also to consult my notes if I need them, to search inside of my notes. And by the way, if you would like me to review it, or maybe not review, I don't like reviews, but maybe if you have some questions about the Bigme Highbreak Pro, just leave them in the comment to this video.
Talk about it logistically at first, and then I'll talk about mentally. Logistically, it's kind of fine. Like, there have been a few times, like the other day when I was trying to get new brake pads installed on my car and I had to call multiple mechanics, times in which it is a little bit annoying, but even then, I just had to turn on the hotspot.
Basically, I am using my laptop if I have this need. I'm just searching, using a search engine that is paid, that is called Kagi. And I'm using this search engine because it doesn't serve me ads, and it does not serve me a different order of the search results than the most useful at the top and the least useful at the bottom. And so if I have to look for mechanics or something like that, I'm using my laptop.
Get my serviceless iPhone out of my bag and use that for a second. It maybe added a minute and a half to the process.
And he's using an iPhone in his bag. 2 years ago, I was using an iPad mini I had also in my bag. But since then, I have settled on just having my laptop in my bag, and in general, it's sufficient. By the way, on the Bigme, I don't have an internet browser, and I don't have a search engine. I don't have the Kagi app on this phone because I don't want to be pulled to search on my device, on my handheld device. I want to be searching and making decisions and deciding on my desktop. And that is also very rare that I am making real notes on that, but I need to be able to search in my notes.
I would recommend doing that, like having a smartphone that you just keep off and turn the service off for, and just having it with you in case you do need it. Another example would be the other day we went to the beach and I had to park somewhere, and the only way to pay to park was to like scan a QR code and download an app.
Yeah, but I would rather not use the service of somebody that forces me to install an app. Even if this one it has a camera, so it can read a QR code and it can download an app, you know. The fact that a business is forcing you to do something is bad.
It even said in the bottom of the sign, it was like, call if you don't have a smartphone, and I called and it was like, hi, thank you for calling. Please download our app. Goodbye.
This is classic. Call our customer service, and then even if you don't have to talk with an automated AI that is not understanding you, or that don't have all the answers you need, or this is even better, actually.
Bye. So there are situations where it is going to be inconvenient, but if you do the Wi-Fi hotspot thing, you at least have that as an option if you have no other way around whatever it is that you're trying to do. Texting is kind of frustrating. Like the T9 engine is really good, and it actually has really good voice to text as well, but I feel awkward as hell doing voice texting in public.
I think that if you are using a dumb phone, it's the whole purpose of using a dumb phone is that it has to be very, very inconvenient to text. And so that you are so inconvenienced that you're basically prefer calling the person on the other end than sending a text. And I think that the possibility to receive a text on an MP02 or another dumb phone is for, you know, the 2FA, the SMS codes that you're receiving, but not really to send text, you know, or maybe to respond like yes, no, but not to send something more than 3 words.
Using T9 is like a C+ experience at best, but that can be
not C+, it's F.
framed also as a good thing. If you're
Oh, maybe it's F in Polish and it's C plus in English.
even the inconveniences of having a dumb phone present cool opportunities if you want them to be cool opportunities. Before I even got the phone, I got this iPod mini, for example.
Yeah, it's also my experience. So I have started using a very good HiBRS2 digital audio player that has a very good R2R DAC. And actually, if I was not using a dumb phone, I would probably never buy it. And I bought it since I love listening to music. And I ended up with a better device and a better sound quality. So win-win.
I learned how to flash mod it to give it way more storage. I replaced the battery, both of which were fun, little, cool, rewarding projects. And then I spent about 3 weeks finding and legally downloading thousands of songs onto it. And it's been very fun and cool to have a music library of my own for which I don't need signal and doesn't buffer and which doesn't suggest things to me and try to curate my listening experience.
I'm actually in the process of configuring the same Walkman I am using, the same DAP I am using for my older daughter. And I want also to have basically her listening to music without using Spotify, without using Tidal, without using all those algorithmic feeds and algorithmic curation engines, because I think it damages the experience. It's bad for people and especially bad for kids.
And platform paid advertisements for artists I never want to listen to.
And also the HiBRS2 we are using has no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi, and no possibility to install apps. It's just a hardware to play music in the highest quality possible, and I love this kind of hardware.
It's a completely different experience, and the audio is better. I've noticed things in songs I've listened to for years that I've never noticed before just because the audio quality is way better, and
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
It's also really cool. And this is born of not having the supposed convenience of having Spotify on my phone anymore. I also got this camera, which is actually the reason why you're watching this video right now. Getting this stupid shit-ass Chinese camcorder gave me the inspiration to make my first video, which is titled How to Get Your Childhood Brain Back, and you can watch it right here. And that's what's given me this whole channel and this new creative outlet, and that has changed my life, to be honest with you. The dumb phone also got me using pocket notebooks, of which I now carry 6 with me at all times, and have been another really cool byproduct of this inconvenience of not having a smartphone with me all the time. I have a video talking about what I use each of those for, which you can watch right here in the corner. I also got and then soft modded this Nintendo DS, which reignited my love for Pokemon and video games and has been another great and fun outlet for me lately. And the coolest byproduct of this inconvenience of having a dumb phone is that I've gotten to talk to people again. When I'm in Walmart and I can't find something, I get to talk to a person and get rid of your smartphone. Like just...
So now let's fast forward a little bit and let's see what are the advantages of not having a smartphone and what the shameless nerd is advising to you.
Convenience in ways. There was an adjustment period. It wasn't completely painless. But anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is what it has done for me, like why I wanted to do it in the first place and whether or not that has worked. And I'm not going to pretend to be reasonable here. Get rid of your smartphone. Like just at the risk of sounding super preachy and condescending and whatever. Like I hope I'm not coming off that way. That's not my intention, but like we are wasting our lives staring at our phones.
Yes, get rid of your smartphone. And this one is not a smartphone. If you are cured, if you are using it the right way, look at the launcher. Do you have a problem with this launcher? It's just text. So yeah, get rid of your smartphone because it wastes your time. You are just looking at your hand and you're not leaving your time. You're showing to your kids that you are looking at your hand and it's bad.
When I go anywhere now, it is all that I see and it makes me sad. At any restaurant or the bank or the doctor's office or the aisles of Walmart, everyone around me from the age of 2 all the way up to elderly women on a walker, all the way up to elderly women on a walker are silent, staring at a box in their hands. And
Yeah, this is very bad. It's the same in Poland. You go to any public place and everybody's staring at their hands and at the smartphone in their hand, of course. You go to the playground and kids are playing, but the parents are staring at their hands. And this is really bad, and I think that most of those people don't realize that they are addicted, that there is mechanisms from slot machines inside of those applications, inside of those operating systems. That is why precisely if you use this kind of Bigme e-ink device, you are shortcutting most of those slot machine strategies that are inside of those phones, just because the big tech corporations want to maximize the time you are using them, and it is also eroding the fabric of society. People are not talking to each other. People ignore each other. They are feeling as if they are better than everybody else, since they can consume their own entertainment and they can show no interest in the people around. It's really, really bad.
Everything is eerily quiet and sterile and weird. My son and I went to a restaurant, for example, the other day, and we got sat next to this family, and the dad was with his presumably daughters, 3 beautiful daughters, a father and his kid, looked to be like age 4 through 13, maybe the kids, and he is sitting there face down, and all 3 of his daughters are sitting there face down, and they literally, without exaggeration, did not say a word to each other from the minute that they sat down until they left.
And do you think that they should spend their time like that? Haven't you seen this in your life? And it's not funny. Or maybe the families where there is a 3-year-old kid that, while waiting for his spaghetti, is just looking at a smartphone or at an iPad with some kind of a cartoon or maybe a game. How he will develop? How do you think it will end?
Right across from them, my son and I were playing with the breadsticks. We were like doing drums. We were breaking breadsticks, which I felt very bad about and had to help like clean up. We were counting cars that passed by, and we were talking about all the ingredients in his little pizza that he had. And we joked and we laughed, and that fleeting, insignificant lunch together is a real memory for me now. It is like a real thing that I remember, that I can look back fondly on. Living in the real world is building memories.
Yeah, and this is pretty much why I am carrying a black and white camera with me in all the places. And this is basically why I am not using my smartphone, my Bigme e-ink device to make photos, but I use my camera. It's a different experience and it makes memories, whereas a smartphone is not.
Living in your phone is just time traveling from waking up to going to sleep, and you're going to forget your life. Like, you're gonna die having done and seen and experienced nothing but Selena Gomez Instagram posts and Italian brain rot AI memes and people arguing about the news.
Yeah, so you don't really need to watch this video any further. He has already concluded everything he had to say, and this is a pretty good conclusion. Spot on.
And your kids will never know their father or their mother. They will know that they have a person who buys them food or whatever.
I thought he will not get any better, but he gets way better. This is a very valid point. Your kids will not know you as their parents if you don't spend time together, if you don't talk to each other, if you don't know each other, if just everything you do is mediated by some kind of a...
But they won't get to know much of anything about him or her, and they won't know that they want to. And I know that that is preachy and philosophical and abstract and corny, probably, I know, but I can also tell you that objectively, in the 3-ish months that I've had this stupid dumbass phone now, my life has changed astronomically, like night and day. My life is different. And I was already trying for months to be conscious of the time I spent on my phone. I'd already deleted social media for over 2 years, and
Yeah, I am also having this the same conclusions as he is having. I thought that the social media is the problem, and so I deleted the social media apps from my smartphone, and it really did not work. Just taking the plunge and going all the way 3 years with the .mp02 worked well.
I was already trying to limit my screen time, but since getting rid of the smartphone altogether, I have more energy, I'm in a way better mood more consistently, I have mental clarity, I have spent so much more time thinking about my thoughts and growing and learning. The days are longer, I laugh more, I have had more thoughtful conversations, I feel like I have more fun and more things to say, and I'm kinder and happier. I mean this without exaggeration, it is like I have been on drugs for 3 months.
And basically, you were.
Neurochemically speaking, I have been. I am experiencing firsthand, tangibly, the effects of coming out of the dopamine deficit that I increasingly believe we all exist in day
This is true.
after day, and it is unbelievably different. I got home yesterday from work and I rode my bike for 3 hours until it was dark outside with no podcast playing or YouTube video being watched. I just rode around the little town that I live in on a bike. Don't you want to ride a bike? When was the last time?
Do you know that half of the kids in today's age are riding bikes together than 10 years or 20 years ago? There was a study like that published recently. So it's half the kids that when I was younger were riding their bikes in the neighborhood. It's just half today, and this is sad because kids are feeling independent. They are learning how to coordinate, how to communicate, and they just don't do it.
You rode a bike. In conclusion, cons. You have to wait till you get home to Venmo someone. I can't Google who was the tall blonde actor in Game of Thrones that played Lady Brienne. Pros. My phone bill's $25 a month. My days are more fun. My relationships are more deep and full. My conversations are stimulating and interesting. I have more energy. I'm in a better mood. My life.
I would add also I am more creative. I have the will to record something, some music, some videos, to edit, to teach something my kids. To be, in general, the less I consume, the more I am creative. The less I was spending my time on my smartphone, the more I wanted to spend my time in the real world.
Life is at least 3 times more enjoyable and fulfilling than it was even 3 months ago when I was already 6 months plus into real efforts to keep a smartphone but limit my use of it and already been off social media and altogether for over a year. I am happier. Just do it.
Just do it.
And just see if you don't feel better. You won't miss it in the ways that you think you might. The pros outweigh the cons, which are real and do exist, but the pros outweigh the cons by a mile. It is not even close. You will not be on your deathbed years from now thinking, damn it, I wish I spent more time on my phone.
Damn it, I wish I have watched more Instagram Reels, more TikToks that I even don't remember.
Poorly named Sunbeam Horizon F1 Bluebird is probably the real and do exist, but the pros outweigh the cons by a mile. It is not even close. You will not be on your deathbed years from now thinking, damn it, I wish I spent more time on my phone. We're all lying to ourselves. I think that this poorly named Sunbeam Horizon F1 Bluebird is probably the best option for switching to a dumb phone, and they do seem like a rare good guy company who I think I like the idea of supporting.
I think the Punkt MP02 is also a very good phone for that, mainly because I don't see the advantage of having group text on another device. I don't know the Sunbeam F1, but I think the Punkt is very stylish, it's very well made. The fact that you can have the speed dial on the real hardware buttons is a very, very good thing. I used it a lot. And so I think the Punkt is also a very good device to use as main phone.
But if you don't want to drop $300, literally just buy a dumb phone. Like go to Walmart and buy a little flip phone, track phone thing, get Mint Mobile, $25 service on it, turn the service off your smartphone and keep it for use on Wi-Fi if you need it. It's not even that drastic a sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. You can do this. And I promise you, there is just no way that you will regret it. If you do, please reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter.
No! But I'm in the same camp. You will not regret it, and just try. And it's not something you should be afraid of. And if you want to try with something a little bit more like a smartphone but without the addictiveness, try this one, the Bigme Highbreak Pro. I tried it with my text launcher. It's a free one, it's an open source one, it's one that will not collect your data, it's called O Launcher. Thank you, the Shameless Nerd, it was a very enjoyable video to comment on, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.